Welcome to Growth Mindset. But first, this may seem like a formal setup and we said go live, but at ease.
Yeah.
We chill. Okay. So the whole idea of this show, basically, I did not tell this to you all before, but because I wanted to say it on camera, is that to learn and grow through meaningful conversations. And the audience of the show are students, basically. And that's why we have student leaders here today, because who better to learn from than people who've climbed the ladder, who are in the limelight, or who've aced student life, basically. So before we go ahead with the questions, I wanted to first introduce yourself. Like, what is it that you do on a regular basis? What are you studying? What's your position as a student leader? And so forth. So, Disha?
Sure, I can start. So I'm Disha. I'm a student, a master's student at the University of Melbourne, pursuing my master's in human resources. And at a student, I guess, leadership position, I am the president of the University of Melbourne Student Union, and I'm also the National Union of Students Victorian State Branch president.
Whoa, okay, that I did not know. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jahnvi Singh, and I'm currently pursuing a Masters of Public Policy and Management at the University of Melbourne again. And I currently am the president of the Indian Graduate Student Society there. I've also held similar student leadership positions back in my undergrad that was in Delhi University. So, yeah.
Thanks. So you've done a lot. You're like an achiever.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is giving you all titles, but now we'll humanize it more. And to tell us about you personally, can you give us an anecdote that describes you, defines you? Jahnvi?
All right. So as a person, I think I'm really big on life. Like, I really romanticize life, which also sometimes really irritates my friends because, you know, whenever I'm just walking, I see a heart shape in the clouds. That's what I see. Might not even be there, but I just tend to see a doodle there and I'm like, look, that's a heart. And my friends are like, Jahnvi, not again. But what I'm saying is, like, I really live my life to the fullest. And so I'm actually living a life that is full of love and a love full of life. So I would say not an anecdote, but this is pretty much about me. This is what I think when I think about myself. This would be me, a very passionate, ambitious, and a person full of love.
That's really nice, very warm. Okay, thanks. Disha?
I think I'm quite different to Jahnvi in that sense. I don't think I romanticize my life.
Huh.
And I don't think I'm living my life to the fullest, but the way I would describe myself in an anecdote is, like, recently my friends came over and, like, you know, we just wanted to have fun and all. And in that scenario, what happened was one of my friends went to make popcorn in the microwave.
Acha, okay.
Now, it's simple. It's just a popcorn, right? 2 minutes and it's cooked. Now what happened is it comes out, right? And you open the packet and suddenly the heat is coming out. And the fire alarm just starts blaring, right? And we're all panicking. We're like, what to do? And we just removed it.
Okay.
In that removal, it just didn't come out. The ball piece also came out. After that, we were, like, you know, warming some coal up and as well. It fell down on the wood floor. And it burned, and I was panicking. I was like, my sofa is burning. I don't know what the hell is happening. Everything's just, you know, left, right, center, just going down. And after a bit of calming down, cooling, we started fixing things. That's how I would, like, describe myself, is like all the hell just breaks together. I have to take a step back, breathe, and fix it all. That's who I am. Like, I just live a life of chaos.
So, but you are calm as well. So
yeah, I would say at one point you have to, you know.
Yeah.
Like, when things are falling apart, you have to calm down, breathe, take a step back, and fix it. That's, I guess, my life motto is just, you know, things happen. It can be good or bad. You just have to take it. You chin up and just do your best.
Beautiful chaos.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
That's a good way to say
That's
it.
me romanticizing your chaos.
Thank you.
Right. And you sometime, I mean, before we started, you were talking about how your life in the last 1 year has been chaos. Has this been because of becoming the president, and how did that go?
I think it definitely plays a part to it. But I think what also plays a part is being the Melbourne University president, right? We're not just talking about what's happening at Melbourne. We start talking about what's happening across the globe. And with the war happening in Israel, Palestine, and like a lot of other things like be it Sudan war or whatever, it really threw light on students here in Australia. We lost a lot of Palestinian students who were coming to Melbourne University in particular. They lost their lives. There were a lot of student protests happening. The focus of the year became the genocide, the war, and so should it be. But really took a toll purely because that expectation of the president needs to speak on every single thing, that expectation of the union can fix things really was a lot, because as a student union we're really limited in our capacity. We're not the government, and our influence is very, very limited in terms of pressurizing the university as well. It's to an extent, yes, it works, but there is this percentage where it doesn't work as well, and we were trying to balance everything, and there's just so much to tap into, because our job is not just to look at that one area, it's also to look into every single other aspect that affects student life, be it your provision that the university provides for protecting privacy, or the provision it provides in terms of if you're not feeling well, how do we support you, legal issues, advocacy issues, anything that we can do to help students, be it food insecurity as well. The union is supposed to represent every single thing. And that takes a lot, because the president's role is so stagnant. And so it really fluctuates so much that you need to keep up with it while also doing your studies and everything else. So it definitely took a toll. I'm very happy it's coming to an end.
It's coming to an end.
Yes.
So you are ending your tenure this year or next
month.
This
I'll be
month?
done,
Oh, how does that feel?
I think it's a mixed feeling, purely because I've always been in office or like in the union for my bachelor's and half of my master's, I guess. But now that it's gone, it's kind of like, it feels good because I'm like, I've done my bit, I'm satisfied with everything that I've achieved, and I just want to, I guess, romanticize my life like Jahnvi. But also kind of like, you know, I love the idea of just new leaders coming and emerging, and I think that's my favorite part, is like I'm passing on the baton to a great team that's coming in, and I'm just gonna make them make their mark and be away happily enjoying my
Nice.
time and seeing them flourish.
So you, in a month you're going to be just a normal student, like
Yes.
someone who has is not in the office. Okay, that's going to be new. I'm
Yeah.
very excited to see how that looks like.
You'll see me partying every day.
Love it. Jahnvi, did you feel that pressure too? Firstly, when did you start your tenure as
It was this September actually.
Oh, so that's very recent.
Yeah.
In this little time that you've had, do you also feel a pressure, or it's different?
So, like I said, that I've had this position back in my undergrad as well. So there's some sort of experience that I come with. I've also worked, you know, with the ministry back in India and stuff like that. So there is some sort of like ease in terms of handling responsibilities. So I don't really think that I feel the pressure. In fact, I like the pressure, because me as a person, I really like to be productive at all times. I try to find balance. And having said that, it really doesn't mean I don't party. You can ask her. She's on my Instagram. She knows I'm big on party as well, partying and stuff like that. So in the last few months, I think it has been quite hectic because, of course, with submissions, exams and everything, because I'm doing quite an intensive course as well. So that requires a lot of dedication. But apart from that, like I did my first event, like the flagship event, which was a Diwali night, which was quite successful as well. That was my first event as the president. But I think I enjoy that. So I don't really take it in a sense of pressure. But yeah, it's quite nice. And it's only been a few months for now. So yeah, that's how it is.
Cool. So now, when we are thinking when I'm thinking from an audience perspective, like a regular student perspective, I have friends and brothers who've recently come to Melbourne and who've recently started uni, and they look at student leaders, and the first question is, how do we get there? Second question is, how do we interact with people who seem to be in a position of power? How do you get yourself at ease? And And another part that I wanted to ask was does being social make too much of a difference in being able to become a student leader? So let's go with the first one. That how is it that they can get to this place? How to get into student leadership first, and then we go from there. What do you all think?
I'm happy to answer. I think the first step to really wanting to be in that position is, of course, ambition. I think anyone who wants to sit somewhere or wants to be someone has to have ambition in them, the passion and the determination to have that hard work. Every single position, be it mine, be it Jahnvi's, or be it anyone's, you need to put a lot of hard work and a lot of time. Do it in any way. And most importantly, don't hesitate to take the first step. There are a lot of people who want to say, no, don't go for it. You need to be strong enough in your will and actually take that first leap of faith and take that step in anything that you really do. That's, I think, the first step of how do you reach there. And number two, I think it does relate to your third question of is it important to be social? I think in my opinion, yes, it matters. Because you only become a leader when people know about you. Till the time you don't interact with people, they won't know you. They won't know who you are and why you're a leader. And that understanding that why and how and who is really, really important to become a good leader as well. So I think, number one, take the leap of faith. Number two, don't hesitate to work hard. And number three, know people. Know who you're surrounding yourself by. Know who are there around you. Because these are the people who are going to put you in this position. Leaders, at the end of the day, are put into positions by people. They don't just automatically become leaders, even if they have the qualities. You need the people's support to become a leader. And that will only happen when you interact with people.
If suppose there's someone who is an introvert, but they're ambitious, what would you tell them? How can they put themselves out there?
I think it's really about understanding what their, their best skill is. If you're someone who's very detail oriented, and you want to be involved, say, in a club. For example, you want to be involved in an Indian club. Now, you don't have a position, but you might just reach out to a committee member and say, hey, I'm actually really interested to just help out in this one X event. Happy to volunteer.
Okay.
Right? And you're someone who just reads, all these events, details and X, Y, Z, all the documents you need to read. You read it and you see that the club has messed up somewhere or is still going through everything. And just reaching out to the person, like the president or anyone, and saying, I realize you haven't done this. I'm happy to help you out. That way also you can get somewhere involved.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, it's really about understanding yourself at the end of the day. You need to know what you're good at and what you need to work on yourself as, because you need to make everything an asset at the end of the day. So it's really about understanding what your qualities are and how you can sell yourself.
Yeah.
Be it an introvert, an extrovert, anything, you need to know where you stand. And that's how you're going to grow in whichever industry you want to.
I recently heard this saying where it said that sales is a life skill. It's not like an individual skill that one person holds or a set of people hold. It's a life skill that everyone should have. Jahnvi, in terms of why, first we go to why did you get into student leadership, whether it was back in India or here? And do you think people are missing out on anything if they aren't a student leader? Now, suppose someone is really ambitious and has the potential, but they, for some reason, are not as active or proactive at uni. Are they missing out on anything by not being in student leadership? What do you think?
All right, that's a really nice question, but I don't think people really miss out on things, because if you really want something, if you're really after something, you're going to go get it anyhow. And the people who don't really want to be there, they wouldn't really mind. And I don't think people who weren't really interested in getting a student leader position, they feel like they're missing out. Maybe sometimes they do feel like, even I could have done that and I could have been great that way. But it's not really like that, because other than that also there's so much happening in the campus that you can really experience, your student life to the fullest. But it's definitely a great exposure. It's definitely some great experience. You get to meet so many people, you get to interact, get to get hands-on, experience on handling things, responsibilities and stuff like that. So I think it's a really nice experience that people, if they get a chance, they must do try and get it. But in my opinion, I don't really think it's something that you would feel like you're missing out unless you're somebody who's interested in that kind of stuff, if you want to be there. So, and also what Disha was saying, like about, a person being an introvert but still being interested in these kind of positions. I don't really think being an introvert and an extrovert really matters when it comes to taking a position of responsibility. Because when you see even, this might be a little too, I don't know what, but the Prime Ministers of India as well, like Dr. Manmohan Singh, I don't think you would say that he was an extrovert. He was not an extrovert, but he was one of the great, Prime Ministers that India has seen. And now that we have Narendra Modi, he's more of a people's person. So they are both different, really unique, but they are both, absolutely capable and amazing as leaders in their positions and within their capacities. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm comparing student leaders to like real world
But yeah,
prime
it makes sense.
ministers.
Leaders are leaders after
Yes.
all, yeah.
Who
Just trying
knows? We may be the next prime minister.
Yes.
I know, I'm definitely
Oh,
going
you are? That's the goal?
for me.
Okay, nice. So both of you have a keen interest in politics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I
Where
think
does
both
the
of us
interest stem from?
All right, so about me, like as a person, like I like to take charge. I like to get things done. I feel that I have that kind of confidence that I know when I'm given a certain set of responsibility, I know I can do it well and I want to take charge. So politics somewhere is something that gives you that kind of, opportunity to like take charge and get things done. So, and I also believe that I have so many things going that I really want to bring out. And which is what gives me that sort of interest. However, I don't think I would, for a very long time now, at this point, get into politics like professionally. So this is what I'm doing, in terms of like being a student, like I'm just experiencing that within the campus back in my undergrad and now, in my master's. But maybe eventually, someday, eventually I will get into politics, but definitely not now.
I was seeing, like the last episode we had was with RMIT student leaders, and I noticed one common streak between all of y'all, that is the will to do things for people, like will to, you said like pass on the baton to a capable team. So it's basically about doing things. And I mean, I was recently thinking about things, and this thought passed my mind where I thought, as long as we're making a difference, recognition does not really define success, does it? No.
No,
Correct.
no.
I know.
Definitely does not. Yeah, I think for me, the reason why I got involved in politics was I think I realized I liked politics a bit late. In the sense, I really started thinking about politics in grade 12, which is
Okay.
really, really late. In India, at least.
Okay,
And by grade 10, you know that you are like, this is what I want to do. By grade 12, I was lost. I think I still am lost.
Okay.
But I think it really stemmed from just my childhood in general. My entire family, like I'm a Kashmiri Pandit.
Okay.
So my family had to run away during peak militancy and terrorism from Kashmir.
Oh, okay.
And government really failed us. Our communities failed us. We became a refugee in our own country. No land, no support, no money, everything. Like we're ground zero. And each one of us had to just build up again. We had to run away. We lost family members. We just lost so much emotional turmoil. And I think I grew up just hearing about governments and just hearing about education and how, like the Kashmiri community used to make an impact in the society and what our values were. And that kind of, I think has just stuck with me. And I think that injustice that happened with us is somewhere where the seed of politics really grew in me. My nani, like my maternal grandmother, was also a political teacher.
Okay.
I think she got an opportunity to teach in LSR back in India. My maternal grandfather was going to be a teacher in one of the Delhi University colleges again. So, like in our family, it's always been about education and passing on that knowledge. So, I think those stories, and it wasn't very like, oh, my childhood used to be this. It used to be, oh, I got saved from a bomb blast. Oh, I got saved by kidnapping.
Shit,
So I used to
really?
hear those kind of things.
Oh God.
Like my mom was literally saved like by like an inch by a bomb blast, or like, you know, she was about to get kidnapped and she was saved.
Huh.
Like, those kind of things used to happen. They used to tell me about how they were going to take poison and die. So I have grown up hearing those stories of struggle, and I till date hear those stories from pretty much all families, like all Kashmiri families, and that's where I think I wanted to be involved in politics and actually make a change in how Indian politics in particular works, or be involved somewhere where be in the system and fix it, rather than screaming from the outside and be like, change. It's not going to happen. Till the time you're not in it, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I really got involved.
This is a very do-it mindset. Like, don't crib, just get involved to do it mindset.
Yes.
It's quite important. Out of context, but were you part of this turmoil? Like, when all of this was happening, did it affect you also? Or this is the stories that you've heard from.
Stories, because I was born in 2002, so
Okay.
by then everything was pretty much done. But of course, like, my parents, like, even after coming out of Kashmir, right, and we had to run away into Jammu because that was the closest, we weren't really treated properly there. You know, my mom used to write exams in a hall, and, you know, Kashmiris used to be very brainy, very smart people, aced it. So the other communities in Jammu used to stone pelt when they used to write exams.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of stories I've heard. So it's like, you know, you're just hearing struggles after struggles, while you're hearing all the sweetness of, you know, the Kashmiri cuisine. This is how you used to treat it in Kashmir. This is what I used to wear. I've heard those kind of things, but majority of it is just overtaken by, just overpowered by just that huge turmoil. I mean, honestly, I would recommend everyone watching Kashmiri Files. That picture, I swear, from the start to the end, I have just cried in the movie, because it's truly what happened.
Yeah,
Put the, like, political narrative aside, but the sufferings are true. Like, you know, every single part of that movie is true. That is what the Kashmiri Pandits went through. You know, you name anything, we went through it all. Like, kids were shot dead. Like, there was no humanity left.
I mean, I can't even imagine what they must have gone through, because I remember I went on a vacation during that phase to Kashmir with my parents and my younger brother. And I remember preponing our flight because, you know, she was mentioning about the stone pelting.
Yeah.
That is what was happening in the entire area, the vicinity where we were living. And there was stone pelting happening, and then, you know, my parents were told by the guide who was with us that, you know, you should just leave because you're all Hindus, you know, you should just go away because it's not safe here. And I remember we had to take an early morning flight around like 4 a.m. and just leave, you know. It is that bad. And now I think things are getting better. I mean, relatively.
guess.
Relatively,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quite a
The hard
touchy.
truth is, like, and I mean, I'm not really to like students, but, like, I think what we're also seeing is a wave of terrorism increasing. And what happens with terrorism is they target education. That's the first thing they target. They try to shut down education. You see Afghanistan, what's happening there? Women are not allowed to study. They're not allowed to speak to each other anymore. They have to wear burqas at all times. There is no women's right, and the first thing that they targeted was education.
Is it because it brings power?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Knowledge is what is equal to power.
Yeah.
Right? Why is politics so important? Because it's information that is being played, right? You look at all these spy agencies and all. Why are they so powerful? Information.
Yeah.
And that is power at the end of the day. Whoever holds the most information,
Power.
Yes.
knowledge, is the powerhouse.
Yeah.
And that's why we respect our doctors, our engineers, our researchers so much, and we pay them in so much amount because they understand the
Value of
value of education, the value of information.
Yeah.
It's really just that.
Yeah.
Your professions are really ranked on information.
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Never thought of it that way. And so you are doing a master's in what again?
Human resources.
And you're doing a master's in?
Public policy.
So you're along similar lines, like in that area, basically. And your bachelor's was something to do with.
My bachelor's was in psychology.
Hey, why do I remember you talking about politics? Like you.
So I did a double major in psychology and politics.
Oh,
That's why,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did my undergrad in political science only. So
Wow. Okay, so you
yeah,
know the path.
yeah.
Okay.
Since 9th grade or 6th actually.
Wow, that's early. I used to play basketball and live my happiest life back
That's what
then.
I'm saying. I've been pretty adamant about what I want to do.
Huh.
I'm happy that I'm doing everything that I said I was going to do.
So amazing.
It's good.
Yeah, the sense of self-actualization and sense of self-achievement. Tell me something. Now, when we talk about, have you all heard of the Maslow's hierarchy
Yeah.
pyramid? Yeah. In that sense of belongingness, only once the sense of belongingness is complete comes the sense of self-actualization. So when we move countries, when we move bases, the sense of belongingness goes haywire, doesn't it? So when you came here to be able to achieve your goals, to be able to get to do what you wanted to do, how is it that you all built the sense of belongingness? That usually comes with relationships, friends, community. How did you all develop that?
I think I actually started my college journey during COVID.
Okay.
So I was stuck back home in India, and back then, like in 2020 end, there was nothing I could do. So all I used to do is there used to be like these orientation sessions. We used to meet like student leaders online, stuff like that. So I kind of like jumped onto that and just saw like what is there. I just wanted to explore. And in that, I kind of explored elections. I got involved in it, lost, but made friends through that, and kind of just started off there. Luckily, when finally the borders opened and I came here, I had made a lot of friends already back home. Like a bunch of people in Delhi who were coming to Melbourne. I met my best friend there. Kind of like friendships were going fine. I came here. Luckily, I have my very, very close relatives here. And so I think that family sense of belonging was very easy for me to kind of grasp onto purely because they were here. My sister's very close to me. I got involved with the Kashmiri Pandit Cultural Association.
Okay.
We're very small, might be like 300 people total here in Melbourne. And that was big enough for me to kind of just, be with my culture while I'm away, because that sense of belonging with my culture is very, very important. It's like pretty much the core for me. So, I was very fortunate to just get involved in that pretty quickly. And in terms of like campus life, I was already a student leader by then. And I guess it's like a fairy tale. I just got the opportunity, I jumped onto it. I got it in one go. And yeah, when I landed here, I was just pretty much, I just got directly involved. I started doing events. I started just doing whatever I could for the student body, be it with the advocacy I did or whatever. Of course, I had my own ups and downs, but yeah, just like whatever opportunity I got, just bagged it. Like I just took it because it was kind of just like, just live your life one day at a time, kind of, and just enjoy it, because I don't know what I want to do in life. So
just be present in the moment.
Yeah,
and
just
make the
went
most
for
of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So for me, it was like relatively really different in the sense, like she said that she's got family here. For me, it was like there was no immediate family here, which is, before the podcast, I was talking to you that I wasn't initially considering Australia. That was a major reason, because I am somebody who's very, very, very close to my family. Like I love being around my parents, my brother, my friends, back home. So for me to take this decision was also like really tough, but I knew that I have to do it. I want to do it, not have to. Want to do it because I wanted to get my master's from a nice uni, a good course. Uni that was offering something really amazing. So I was like, I have to be there. But I remember when I was coming here, I was like so scared, so nervous, because I'm so used to being around my family, my people. I was like, how am I just going to live like an entirely different continent with nobody that I know? I mean, of course, there were people who, were at the airport who came to pick me up, like family friends and stuff like that, but it's different. So I was very skeptical of how I'm going to like navigate stuff here like all by myself. I mean, in my head I knew I'm going to get it done. I knew that I'll be sorted, I'll do it, but what I was thinking was I'll be crying every night. And to be honest, when I got here, it was like that for the first few nights. It was terrible, because in the days it was amazing. I met some lovely people. I'm still friends with those people. They are home here. That's my home, for Australia, whatever. But at nights it would feel like now I'm done. Can I just go back to India, sleep in my bed with my family, with my dogs, and then be back tomorrow morning for uni?
Yeah.
But that's not what can happen, right? So when you take such decisions, I think it's very important that you should allow yourself to like meet new people, talk to them, make new friends. I've made friends from like different continents. Like I have a best friend who's Italian now.
Oof,
I have
okay.
a best friend that's Spanish, that's Thai.
Oh.
So like all sorts of people from everywhere, and then there are of course Indian people who make life feel like home here. So it's so good. Every day we chill, you know, we're all busy with assignment stuff, work, but we help each other. We're cooking every other day together, something like that. I think that's really important here, and that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
Even if you're somebody who says that you're an introvert, I don't think, because you don't need people, you need your people. Even if it's just one person, two people, or like whatever, but you need people to like, you know, just get through things, you know.
What do you think about identifying your people? As in, has it been difficult to find your kind of people here, or you just know it?
Ooh. I think for me, I was a bit lucky, I would say, on that note.
Okay.
I just met the right kind of people
Okay.
before coming here. And I'm very, very close to them. You know, I talk to them every day, even though they've gone back to India now. Like, I still talk to them, and you know, like I made some really, really good friends here. Of course, like there are a bunch of other friends here as well. But I think everyone's just so busy in life at the moment.
Yeah. For some reason, there's
it's
just no time.
Yeah, there's been no time really. But I think it's also about just clicking.
Huh.
You know, sometimes you just click, sometimes you don't. I think I'm a very free-flowing person,
That
so I
way,
kind of
okay.
just gel in with almost everyone. But I pick very selectively who I get close to.
Ah, okay.
Exactly. The same on that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just I would know everyone on campus, but there were very few people I'm very, very close to.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
You can know a lot of people, but
Yeah.
you won't call them your friends. I mean, there's a difference, you know, being friendly and being friends with someone. So we are friendly people, I
Yeah.
think, because, you know, being in such positions as well, you meet a
Yeah.
lot of people, you're nice to them, you're sweet to them. But, I mean, when you know your people, they are your friends, right? So, and also like people back home, like, you know, when you're connected to them, it makes life easy. Like best friends here and there, your family. I mean, it makes life easy. So just staying connected to your people. And like her, I've also been pretty lucky in that way, just meeting my people, the right people. So that does make a lot of difference.
That's really nice.
I would say though, you know, with it being identifying your people or just finding friends or, you know, it's a lot. Loneliness is a big problem in Australia. It's a huge problem. And a lot of people actually don't find anyone.
Yeah.
And they go into isolation, sometimes depression. Like, there's a lot that happens. But I think we are so hard on ourselves, right? And I think that's one thing that I would definitely kind of say to everyone is be light on yourself. Like, you don't have to be so so strict on yourself. Like I like be coming out of me because I'm super, super strict on myself, right? But I think just like in the last few months, something I've realized is you really need to just let yourself be. And it's okay to make mistakes. You're human, right? So you might make a wrong decisions today. You might make a wrong decision tomorrow. It's okay. You're going to learn something out of it at the end of the day. So just enjoy and just explore and just keep going.
That's very good advice, I swear. And it's so important to be lenient with ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we start off being very hard on ourselves and eventually realize that point nahi hai.
Yeah.
You have to. Okay, because you all gave me the idea of a rapid fire, we're going to end with a rapid fire. It's time up actually, but just 2 minutes. Okay, let's go very short. I'll say one word. Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh God.
We'll start with Jahnvi.
Okay.
Okay.
Hot seat.
Where's the hamper? I need to know that. What's in the hamper?
Starting with the rapid.
Yeah, like where's the hamper?
Oh, see, there's a dabba there. That's the
Dabba better have something in
I
it.
just have like Dior, Chanel.
very, very pretty perfumes and rings and stuff, for sure.
Sounds good then.
Okay. Without thinking, just one word and tell me what comes to your mind, the first thing. Melbourne. Jahnvi.
Career.
Favorite food joint.
Oh my god, I have to think. Shit. Can't think. Can't pick one. No.
Okay.
I'll say Bombay on Bay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool. Home.
home is home, back home, India.
India, okay. Diwali.
Diwali. Family.
Sweet. Uni Melbourne.
Colors. I don't know, for some reason I resonate, that with colors because it's so full of like different kind of people here and there.
Basically means
Fun.
your life in Uni Melbourne is very happening.
Yes,
Ah,
absolutely. Happy.
Love it. Politics.
Ambitious.
Next travel destination.
Ooh.
That would be Bali.
Oh my God, I'm going to Bali.
You all should go together.
I'm also going, like that's
When?
final.
I'm going in December.
Oh,
Never mind.
I just came back from a vacation. Need a break.
Okay. Disha.
Yes.
Very simple. We'll do it. Okay. Your favorite person?
My mom.
Very safe. Okay. Your favorite student leader?
Ooh, I think myself.
Okay.
I'm very proud of myself.
Your go-to drink?
Drink has to be vodka and Coke.
Okay.
Yeah.
India.
Ooh, so much. Plethora.
Wow. Bollywood parties.
Memories.
I went full flashback. Okay. The top thing on your bucket list at the moment?
Ooh. Honestly, like I haven't thought about this. Bucket list. I think probably for me has to be I want to skydive. So
Canes.
probably maybe or Dubai somewhere if someone gives me money.
The one thing you dislike about politics?
Ooh, the dualness of individuals. Yes.
Right. Nice. Okay, this was the end. This was a wrap up. Thank you so much for coming, and this was fun. I like the warmth in the conversation. It was a very wholesome one. Thank you.
Thank
you for
so
having
much.
us.